Welcome to our deep dive, exploring this whole world of generative AI and how it's going to change business as we know it. We've got some fascinating material here. Like, we've got excerpts from IBM's CEO Guide to Generative AI, second edition, no less, and the Tech Orange 2025 Trend Observation Report. Even some analysis from YouTube channels of Lin Tin and Lo101. I mean, really, this is cutting-edge stuff.
Yeah.
So get ready for some aha moments, because I think this is going to be good. This is rapidly changing technology, and it could completely revolutionize how we work and how we interact with the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's not just like, oh, AI is a cool tool anymore. It's really becoming a driving force that's going to shape business strategy, even the global economy, and maybe even what your job might look like down the road.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's start with the basics here. What exactly is generative AI, and why is everybody making such a fuss about it?
Well, the Tech Orange report defines these AI agents as going way beyond just responding to prompts. They're evolving to actually do things independently, combining memory planning and even the ability to perceive and use tools from different systems. I mean, it's amazing.
So they're not just processing information, they're taking action based on what they've learned. That's a big step.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. Like, imagine having a colleague who can not only remember everything they've ever learned, but can also analyze that information, make decisions, and even do those complex tasks without needing constant supervision.
That is both impressive and a little bit intimidating, to be honest. Where does that leave us humans?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Gartner actually predicts that by 2028, 15% of all work decisions could be made by these AI agents.
Wow.
So that's a big number. Think about your own career. What kinds of decisions do you make every day? Could some of those be handed off to an AI in the future?
That's a lot to think about. It sounds like it goes way beyond replacing jobs, though. The IBM report talks about AI revolutionizing a bunch of different fields, from customer service and marketing to cybersecurity and sustainability.
Absolutely. Take customer service, for example.
Yeah.
Imagine a chatbot that can handle all those basic inquiries. Troubleshoot problems, even make recommendations 24/7. That could free up the human agents to focus on the more complex stuff and provide a higher level of service for the people who really need that one-on-one help.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about things like marketing? I mean, that's more creative. Can AI really replicate human ingenuity?
That's a great question. The IBM report actually highlights how CMOs are feeling pretty good about AI freeing up their teams for more strategic and creative work. They see it being used to, analyze data, identify trends, and even generate content ideas. So marketers can focus on the big picture and, that human touch that AI can't quite replicate.
So it's about using AI as a tool to enhance human creativity, not to replace it.
Yeah, it's about finding that synergy between human and artificial intelligence. And let's not forget about the impact that AI is having on industries that rely on those physical tasks. Think about the Tech Orange report's prediction that there's going to be a massive boom in industrial robots. We're talking 10 million units by 2030, creating a market worth over $1 trillion.
Those are some big numbers.
Yeah.
What's driving the incredible growth in industrial robots?
It's efficiency and optimization. I mean, these industrial robots can work nonstop. They can do repetitive tasks really precisely and operate in environments that might be dangerous for humans.
Right.
So that leads to, more productivity, lower costs, even improved safety in industries like manufacturing, logistics, construction, you name it.
So it's not just about robots replacing workers in factories. They're taking on roles in all these different industries. It's going to affect everything from how things are made to how they get to our doorstep.
Precisely. And this ties into that whole idea of hyperautomation that IBM talks about. It's not just automating a single task. It's about optimizing entire systems.
Okay, so before we get too deep into hyperautomation, can you maybe break that down a little bit? What does that actually mean? Just put it in simple terms.
Sure. Imagine you have some really complex process with lots of steps.
Yeah.
Like processing an insurance claim. Hyperautomation uses AI and other technologies to look at that entire process, identify areas that can be improved, and then automate as much of it as possible.
So it's like taking this, clunky old-fashioned process and turning it into a streamlined machine.
Exactly. And the potential benefits are huge. Reduced costs, more efficiency, improved accuracy, faster turnaround times.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could really be a game changer. And, speaking of big picture changes, I know we have some interesting insights into the global economic landscape.
Yes. Lynn, this YouTube channel, they offer a really captivating analysis of how AI and other factors are playing out in different economies around the world. It's really interesting.
Okay, let's dive into that. What are some of the key takeaways from their analysis?
Well, one of the things they point out is this contrast between the U.S. economy's resilience, despite high interest rates, but also these potential vulnerabilities, with corporate profit concentration and rising national debt.
Oh, so it's kind of a tightrope walk.
Exactly, right. And then you've got Japan, which is finally shifting gears after, decades of doing these unorthodox monetary policies. They're actually pursuing inflation for a change, which is kind of interesting. It's different from the global trend of trying to curb inflation.
That's surprising. What's driving that change in their approach?
Well, it's complex, but a key factor is they want to boost their economic growth after years of stagnation, allowing inflation to rise a bit. They're hoping it encourages people to spend and invest money, which could help revitalize the economy.
So how does that contrast with what's going on in other parts of the world?
Well, Germany is a good example. They're facing a whole different set of challenges. They're grappling with the energy crisis and a conservative fiscal policy, plus an aging workforce. And all of that is contributing to economic struggles. It just goes to show that there's no one-size-fits-all solution, when it comes to economic policy.
Definitely true. What about China? I know they've been a major player on the global economic stage for a long time. What's their current situation?
Well, they're focusing on boosting domestic demand, and they're doing it through some pretty innovative policy measures. They've introduced these things called super long-term special treasury bonds to try and stimulate investment. And they've even lowered mortgage interest rates to encourage home buying.
Wow, those are some interesting ideas.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's a great example of how a government can use creative policy tools to try and shape economic outcomes.
So it sounds like each country's facing its own unique set of challenges and opportunities.
Exactly. And it's important to remember, AI is just one piece of the puzzle. Global economic trends, geopolitical shifts, demographic changes, all of that plays a role in shaping the future of business. It's a really complex and ever-changing landscape.
It is. Definitely. So far, we've talked a lot about the potential benefits of AI. But what about the flip side? What about the cost, the ethics, the impact on jobs?
Those are all very valid concerns.
Yeah.
Let's dive into some of those challenges next. You're right. Let's start with the cost of actually implementing all this cutting-edge technology. The IBM report really gets into the financial hurdles businesses are facing.
Okay. Give it to me straight. How expensive are we talking here?
Well, hold on to your hat, because they found that 100% of the executives they surveyed said they had to cancel or postpone at least one generative AI project because of cost concerns.
100%. Wow, that's a serious reality check. I guess all this AI magic doesn't come cheap.
No, it doesn't. Developing and implementing these complex AI systems requires, a big investment in computing power, data storage, and specialized expertise.
Oh.
Plus, there's the ongoing cost of maintaining and updating them as technology changes.
So it's not just a one-time expense. It's an ongoing commitment.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not just about the financial cost. There are also these, really important questions about how AI systems are being used and what the potential impact is on society as a whole. The IBM report emphasizes that executives are starting to finally ask the tough questions, like which models are being used, where did the data come from, and what are the implications of all of this?
Those are some big questions. It sounds like companies are finally starting to take this stuff seriously.
They are. They're realizing that it's not enough to just focus on the technical capabilities of AI. You got to think about the ethical implications too. And this connects to what the TechOrange report calls sovereign AI. It's this idea that, countries and organizations need to have these really clear guidelines and regulations to make sure AI is developed and used responsibly.
So it's about setting boundaries and making sure that AI serves us and not the other way around.
Exactly. It's a global conversation that we all need to be having.
Okay.
Now, shifting gears a bit, let's think about how all this impacts the workforce. There's this understandable anxiety around AI taking over jobs.
The robots are coming for us, right?
Well, 101, and the IBM report actually pushed back on that narrative. They both say that AI, if it's used correctly, has the potential to enhance our capabilities, not replace us.
Okay, I'm listening. How do they see this playing out?
Well, think about it this way. What if instead of being afraid of job losses, we focus on the opportunities that AI creates for us to work smarter, not harder? The IBM report highlights how CMOs believe that AI can free up marketing teams so they can focus on more creative and strategic tasks.
So AI can handle the data crunching and the routine stuff, and humans can focus on what they do best, the creative thinking and the innovation.
Exactly. And that goes beyond just marketing. Imagine doctors using AI to analyze medical scans and assist with diagnoses, so they have more time with their patients to provide personalized care. Or architects using AI to, generate different design options so they can focus on the artistic vision and the human needs of a project.
I like that. But how do we realistically prepare for this future? I mean, not all of us are doctors or architects.
You're right. That's where upskilling and reskilling become incredibly important. We need to focus on developing those skills that AI can't replicate. Things like creative thinking, complex problem solving, and those uniquely human skills like emotional intelligence and empathy.
So it's about investing in ourselves and developing those skills that are going to be valuable in this new world of work.
Exactly. And the IBM report stresses the need for this human-centric approach to AI. It's about empowering individuals, not making them obsolete.
That's reassuring. But practically speaking, how do we do that? Are we talking online courses, workshops? What does upskilling and reskilling actually look like?
It really depends on your current skills and your career path. But I think a good place to start is figuring out which skills are in high demand in your industry and then explore all the resources that are out there. There are online courses, boot camps, workshops, mentorship programs, even degree programs that can help you develop the skills you need to thrive in this AI-powered world.
It sounds like there are options out there for those who are willing to adapt and embrace change. Now, I know we've been talking a lot about AI in general, but the IBM report actually goes deeper into different approaches to implementing generative AI. Can you break that down for us?
Sure, it's important to understand that there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to AI. The report encourages businesses to think strategically about whether they should scale up those large, complex AI models or develop smaller, more specialized ones, tailored to their specific needs.
So it's about choosing the right tool for the job, not just jumping on the latest AI bandwagon because it sounds cool.
Exactly. They talk about having this model-agnostic mindset, meaning staying flexible and adaptable when you're choosing AI tools. And to manage those costs and, optimize workloads, they recommend exploring a hybrid cloud architecture. So businesses can use the most appropriate environment for each AI task, whether it's on-premises in the cloud or some combination of the two.
It sounds like finding the right balance is key. Now, thinking from our listeners' perspective, what are some of the factors that they should consider when deciding on, an AI approach for their own organization or project?
I think it really comes down to understanding your specific needs and the resources that you have. What are you hoping to accomplish with AI? What kind of data do you have access to? What's your budget? And maybe even more importantly, what are the potential risks and ethical implications of actually implementing AI in your specific case?
It's about doing your homework and being strategic, not just following the latest trend because it's trendy.
Exactly. And remember, this is a rapidly evolving field. The IBM report cautions that the competitive edge that generative AI offers today might be commonplace tomorrow.
So how do companies stay ahead of the curve and avoid falling behind?
Continuous improvement is key. They talk about techniques like fine-tuning and prompt engineering, which can make AI models much more accurate. It's like training a racehorse. You need to constantly refine its abilities to get peak performance.
And that better accuracy translates into things like, better forecasting, more efficient resource allocation, and even more personalized customer experiences.
Exactly. Right. But let's go back to those costs that we were talking about earlier. The IBM report warns that the average cost of computing is expected to increase by almost 90% between 2023 and 2025.
Ouch. That's a big jump. Are they saying that AI is driving that increase?
Absolutely. 70% of executives believe that generative AI is a major factor in those rising costs. It's kind of a catch-22. You need AI to stay competitive, but it's expensive to implement and run.
So what's the solution? How can companies manage this challenge?
The report offers some practical advice. First, get a handle on what's actually driving up those expenses. Things like hardware, cloud services, data collection, model training, even ongoing maintenance.
So understand where the money's going.
Exactly. Then once you got a clear picture of, the cost breakdown, you can start making strategic decisions about optimization. Investing in more efficient infrastructure, picking the right size models for each task, even partnering with other companies to share resources. All of those things can help control spending.
It's about being smart with how you use AI, not just throwing money at it. The report also mentions something called FinOps and cloud optimization.
Yeah, they recommend using a hybrid cloud platform as a central control tower. So you can manage costs, optimize workloads, and make sure you're using the most cost-effective approach for each AI project.
Finding that sweet spot between power and efficiency.
Exactly. They also stress the importance of having clear governance and performance metrics. You need to track the impact of those AI investments and make sure they're actually delivering business value.
So it's not just about implementing AI, it's about having a plan and measuring your success. Now, I know that the report goes into detail about how AI can transform different business functions. Let's start with IT automation. How is AI changing the game there?
They really emphasize how AI can make IT systems more resilient and adaptable. Traditional automation has helped streamline things, but AI takes it to a whole new level.
So, what makes AI-powered automation different?
Well, think of it this way. Traditional automation is like having a set of instructions that the computer follows step by step. AI-powered automation is more like having a smart assistant that can learn from experience, adapt to changing conditions, even anticipate problems before they happen.
Okay, that's a helpful distinction. Can you give us an example of how AI is being used to automate IT tasks?
Sure. The report talks about AI optimizing data center layouts to reduce energy consumption and improve efficiency. They actually predict that by the end of 2024, 70% of organizations will be using AI for this. That's a massive jump from just 25% in 2023.
Wow, that really shows how quickly AI is becoming an essential part of IT infrastructure.
Yeah, it is. And they highlight how AI can empower IT managers with these really intelligent decision support tools. Give them real-time insights and automation capabilities. They can streamline workflows, reduce costs, and free up their time for more strategic initiatives. It's not about replacing people, it's about giving them superpowers.
I like that. Now, let's shift gears and talk about finance. How is AI changing the game for CFOs and their teams?
They paint this picture of CFOs embracing AI to navigate, this increasingly complex world of financial management. AI can analyze tons of data to help finance teams understand, which investments are likely to deliver the best returns. It's about giving them those valuable insights at the right time.
That sounds like a CFO's dream.
Right. And they actually quote Terufuji, who's the president and CEO of Ajinomoto Co. Inc. He says it's not just about creating a roadmap. It's about being able to respond quickly to changing trends and execute strategies effectively.
Yeah, the business world moves fast. Financial planning needs to keep up.
Absolutely. And they also stress the importance of something they call generative AI for FinOps and FinOps for generative AI. It's about using AI to manage the costs associated with AI itself.
It's like AI needs its own financial advisor.
Right. But it really shows how integrated AI is becoming in, every aspect of business. CFOs are seeing it as a key driver of competitive advantage.
So where do they recommend companies start? Where should CFOs focus their AI efforts?
They suggest focusing on automating those really labor-intensive tasks that are ripe for AI intervention. Things like data entry, reconciliation, even some aspects of financial analysis can be significantly streamlined.
Freeing up finance professionals from the busy work so they can focus on the higher value activities.
Exactly. And they encourage CEOs to really, incentivize their CFOs to embrace these AI tools. Start with some small targeted use cases and then scale up as they see the benefits and gain confidence.
So a gradual approach. Start small and build momentum, but it's not just about cutting costs, right?
You're right. They actually emphasize that generative AI can also create new business value in finance.
Can you give some examples?
Sure. They talk about how AI can generate really insightful commentary for financial dashboards. It can analyze sales trends to identify new growth opportunities, and it can even automate the validation of customer claims to reduce revenue loss.
Those are some pretty impressive capabilities.
Yeah, they are. And it all comes back to the importance of upskilling those finance teams so they can really leverage these powerful AI tools effectively and responsibly.
So it's about empowering those professionals to be more strategic and data-driven in their decision-making.
Absolutely. They highlight some really specific examples of how AI can improve financial workflows. For example, in the record to report process, AI can help create really impactful internal management reports. And in the order-to-cash process, AI can automate the validation of customer claims and deductions, which leads to some pretty big cost savings.
So AI can be applied strategically across the entire financial life cycle.
Exactly. Now let's move on to procurement. How is AI shaking things up in that world?
That's a good one. I'm curious to hear this.
Well, they acknowledge that a lot of chief procurement officers are still skeptical about AI's potential in this area. They're a tough crowd to convince.
Why is that? Why are CPOs so hesitant?
I think there's this perception that procurement is all about negotiation and relationships, which are those inherently human skills. But the report says that CPOs are missing out on this huge opportunity to streamline their operations and really drive strategic value with AI.
Okay, so how do you win over those skeptical CPOs?
The IBM report suggests showcasing, the clear ROI that AI can deliver in procurement. They emphasize that while only 13% of organizations have reached those advanced levels of AI adoption in procurement, the ones who have are seeing some pretty significant results.
It's about letting the success stories speak for themselves.
Right. And so you should focus on those specific use cases that resonate with CPOs' priorities, like optimizing spend analytics and sourcing. They also encourage CEOs to, empower their CPOs to become more strategic in their roles, using AI to not just manage transactions, but to identify new opportunities and drive innovation across the whole supply chain.
So it's about elevating the role of procurement from cost control to strategic value creation.
Exactly. And the report highlights specific ways that AI can help CPOs achieve these goals. They suggest using AI to build a really strong data foundation, so procurement teams can analyze spending patterns, identify potential savings, and negotiate better deals with suppliers.
Turn data into actionable insights.
Exactly. They also highlight how AI can help procurement teams improve cash flow by optimizing payment terms, inventory levels, and other working capital components.
So using AI to streamline operations and free up cash for more strategic initiatives.
Precisely. And they even suggest using AI to anticipate and adapt to disruptions in the supply chain. Analyzing market trends, predicting potential risks, even simulating different scenarios. AI can help those procurement teams stay ahead of the curve and make more informed decisions.
So it's like having an AI crystal ball for the supply chain.
In a way, yes. And it all comes back to the need for CPOs to really embrace AI as a strategic partner, not just as a cost-cutting tool. The report argues that, the companies who do this will be in a much better position to navigate this complex business world and build those resilient, efficient, and profitable supply chains. Now let's shift gears and talk about marketing. What are CMOs saying about AI's potential there?
I'm really curious to hear this because marketing seems like it would be so heavily impacted by AI.
It is. The IBM report actually found that CMOs are generally pretty enthusiastic about AI. They see it as a way to, free up their teams from those mundane tasks and unleash their creativity.
Yeah, that makes sense. Marketing is all about creativity and innovation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they highlight a pretty striking statistic. 94% of CMOs believe that generative AI will allow their teams to focus on more strategic and creative work.
That's a pretty overwhelming endorsement. But I imagine there are concerns about job security just like in other areas.
There are. They acknowledge those anxieties that come with AI. If AI can automate marketing tasks, what happens to the people who are doing those jobs?
It's that same question of augmentation versus automation.
Right. And they quote Mark Reed, who's the CEO of WPP, the world's largest advertising agency. He acknowledges that while AI is definitely going to change the nature of those jobs, it also presents this huge opportunity to redefine those roles and create even more value for businesses.
So it's job evolution, not necessarily job loss.
Exactly. It's about shifting from execution to strategy, from doing to thinking, from following the rules to breaking them.
I like that. So how can marketers harness AI's power while still making sure that human creativity is at the heart of it all?
Well, they recommend a few key strategies. First, focus on using AI to gather and analyze data. That can help you understand customer needs, preferences, and behaviors much more deeply.
So turning data into insights that lead to better marketing campaigns.
Right. Then you use those insights to personalize those customer experiences at every touch point, from website interactions and email campaigns to social media engagement and even in-store experiences.
It's about creating a personalized customer journey for each individual.
Precisely. And they also encourage marketers to use AI to experiment with different content formats and creative approaches. By analyzing what works and what doesn't, AI can help marketers push those boundaries and create really innovative campaigns. It's about AI being a creative collaborator.
I like that. But I also imagine that ethical considerations are especially important in marketing, given the potential for AI to be used to manipulate consumers.
You're absolutely right. They emphasize the importance of using AI ethically and responsibly. This means respecting customer privacy and making sure that marketing messages are transparent and authentic.
Building trust, not just generating clicks.
Exactly. Now let's move on to an area where AI's role is becoming increasingly critical: cybersecurity.
Okay, how is AI changing the game in cybersecurity?
Well, the report warns that the rise of generative AI has created some new vulnerabilities that businesses have to deal with. Technology can be a double-edged sword. They point out that the average cost of a data breach has skyrocketed to almost $5 million globally. And in the US, it's even higher, a staggering $9.4 million.
Those are some scary numbers.
They are. It's no wonder companies are spending so much on cybersecurity to address those risks. The report actually found that executives expect their AI cybersecurity budgets to increase by 43% by 2025.
So AI is both the problem and the solution when it comes to cybersecurity.
Exactly. On the one hand, AI can be used to launch those really sophisticated cyber attacks. But on the other hand, it can also be used to defend against them more effectively.
This is like an AI arms race.
You could say that they urge CEOs to treat generative AI security as a top priority and really understand and mitigate the unique risks that AI brings to the table.
What are some of those unique risks?
They highlight the potential for AI to be used to expose sensitive data or get unauthorized access to systems. They even talk about something called adversarial AI, which are these subtle manipulations of data sets that could lead to some pretty malicious outcomes.
That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's a serious concern.
Yeah.
But they also emphasize that AI can be a really powerful tool for those cybersecurity teams.
How so?
Well, by automating those repetitive tasks, it frees up cybersecurity professionals to focus on more complex and strategic threats. AI can also analyze tons of data, identifying patterns and anomalies that might indicate a cyber attack is happening. It's like having an AI watchdog constantly monitoring your systems.
That's reassuring.
Right. And AI can even learn from past attacks and adapt security protocols in real time. So it's harder for cyber criminals to exploit those same vulnerabilities again. It's about using AI to stay one step ahead.
I like that. So it's not just reacting to threats. It's about using AI to anticipate and prevent them.
Exactly. The report actually offers this helpful analogy. They say, treat cybersecurity like a product and treat stakeholders like customers. To secure the AI that you use in your products, you need to educate your teams about the unique cybersecurity threats that AI presents. Highlight the value of good data and security hygiene, and make sure everyone understands how their actions can impact the organization's security overall.
So creating a culture of cybersecurity awareness and responsibility.
Exactly. And it comes down to strong leadership and a proactive approach to AI security. They argue that the CEOs who prioritize this are going to be in a much better position to reap the benefits of AI while minimizing those risks. Now let's talk about an area where AI has the potential to make a really positive impact: sustainability.
This is an area I'm really interested in. How can AI help us create a more sustainable future?
Well, the IBM report really paints this inspiring picture of how AI can help businesses achieve their sustainability goals in ways that we couldn't have imagined before.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
They talk about how AI can analyze huge amounts of environmental data and uncover patterns and insights that can lead to more sustainable practices. For example, AI can be used to optimize resource consumption, reduce waste, and even design products and services that are more environmentally friendly.
So it's about using AI to create a more sustainable future for everyone.
Exactly. But how can AI make those sustainability initiatives more practical and cost-effective?
That's a good question. How do we make sure that these initiatives are both good for the planet and good for business?
Well, the report highlights how AI can automate things like data collection and analysis, generate those sustainability reports, and even identify areas where you can improve. This can really help businesses streamline their efforts and track their progress more effectively.
So it's about making sustainability initiatives more manageable and measurable.
Precisely. They even suggest using AI to create these digital twins, which are like virtual representations of physical assets. You can use them to simulate different scenarios and identify opportunities for improvement. Imagine using AI to create a digital twin of a building, so engineers can experiment with different energy-saving measures and find the most effective approaches before implementing them in the real world.
That's a really cool concept. It's like a virtual test ground for sustainability.
Exactly. And it all comes back to businesses approaching AI with that sustainability mindset, thinking not just about the bottom line, but also about the long-term impact on the planet.
So it's about using AI to create a more sustainable and profitable future for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about another area where AI is making a huge impact: supply chain management.
Okay, how is AI transforming supply chains?
Well, they paint a picture of global supply chains facing unprecedented disruptions from things like geopolitical tensions, economic uncertainty, and climate change. Those traditional supply chain models are really struggling to keep up with all this volatility, leading to delays, shortages, and increased costs.
So AI is being brought in to address these challenges and create more resilient supply chains.
Exactly. They argue that AI is the key to creating those more resilient, adaptable, and efficient supply chains. They point out that CEOs and boards are much more focused on strategic supply chain management, now recognizing how critical it is for success. And AI is a big part of that. The report says that 89% of executives plan to include generative AI capabilities in their supply chain automation investments. And 19% even say that AI is absolutely essential to their future success.
So it's not just a nice to have, it's a must have. So how can AI be used to really transform those supply chains?
The report highlights a few key strategies. First, You use AI to improve visibility and transparency across the whole supply chain, from raw materials all the way to manufacturing, distribution, and even delivered to the customer. It's about having that real-time view of what's happening at every stage.
So the more you can see, the better you can manage the flow of goods and materials.
Exactly, right. Then you use AI to automate those routine tasks like order processing, inventory management, even logistics planning. That frees up those supply chain professionals so they can focus on more strategic tasks, like managing those supplier relationships and anticipating potential problems.
So AI handles the day-to-day stuff and humans can focus on the big picture.
Precisely. And they also encourage businesses to use AI to optimize decision-making in the supply chain. AI can leverage those predictive analytics to anticipate demand, identify potential disruptions, and make smarter decisions about things like sourcing, production, and inventory levels. It's about making the supply chain more agile and responsive.
So it's about being proactive, not just reactive.
Exactly. And here's an interesting trend. They highlighted executives are really wanting a single source of truth when it comes to supply chain data. They want to avoid the confusion and delays that come from having conflicting information from different parts of the supply chain.
It's about having one clear view of the data so everyone's on the same page.
Right. AI can help with this by collecting and analyzing data from the whole supply chain in real time. So you create this single comprehensive view that everyone can access and use to make better decisions.
It's like an air traffic control system for the supply chain.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. And it comes down to companies embracing AI as a strategic partner in supply chain management. The companies who do this will be better equipped to navigate all the complexities and build those resilient, efficient, and profitable supply chains. Now let's move on to customer service. How is AI changing that landscape?
That's an area where I think a lot of people have already seen the impact of AI.
You're right. And the IBM report highlights a really interesting trend. Customer service is now the #1 AI implementation priority for CEOs. It's even ahead of things like research, innovation, and marketing.
That's a big shift. What's driving that?
They point out a few things. First, there's this increasing demand for 24/7 customer support. Customers want to be able to reach businesses anytime, and AI can help provide those instant responses to common questions.
It's about always being available for the customer.
Exactly. Second, hiring human customer service agents is getting more expensive. As wages go up and the competition for talent intensifies, businesses are looking for ways to automate those tasks and rely less on human agents.
So it's about finding more efficient ways to provide that high-quality customer service.
Exactly. And third, generative AI is getting more sophisticated. It can understand natural language, respond to complex questions, and even make personalized recommendations, which makes it an even more valuable tool for customer service.
So it's not just about replacing human agents, it's about giving them more tools and making them more effective.
Exactly. The report talks about how AI can answer customer questions, offer personalized recommendations, provide instant translations, and even summarize past interactions. So those human agents have a complete view of the customer's history and needs.
So AI is giving customer service agents superpowers.
Exactly. And it comes back to businesses taking a customer-centric approach to AI adoption. It's about using AI to make the customer experience better, not just to save money or be more efficient.
It's about treating customers like people, not just data points.
Precisely. The report encourages businesses to use AI to gather insights about customer needs and preferences and use that information to create those personalized and engaging experiences. It's about using AI to build relationships.
That's a really important point. It's not just about transactions, it's about building long-term relationships.
Exactly. And they also emphasize the importance of using AI ethically and responsibly in customer service. This means being transparent with customers about how their data is being used and making sure that those AI systems are fair and unbiased.
So building trust is essential.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about how AI is impacting both the customer and the employee experience.
Okay, so how is AI changing those experiences?
Well, they highlight how AI is fundamentally changing how businesses interact with both customers and employees. In today's digital world, customers expect those seamless, personalized experiences across every touch point. They want to interact with businesses effortlessly, whether through a website, a mobile app, social media, or even in person.
And AI can help businesses deliver on those expectations.
Exactly. AI can analyze customer data and help personalize those interactions, from product recommendations and targeted offers to website content and customer support. It can even anticipate customer needs and proactively offer solutions before the customer even asks.
So it's about making the customer experience feel intuitive and personalized.
Exactly. But they also point out that AI's role goes beyond personalization. It's also about making things convenient, removing those pain points, and making it easy for customers to do business with you.
So removing those obstacles and making the customer journey as smooth as possible.
Right? They highlight this key insight. Customer trust is the new currency. With so many options out there, customers are more likely to stick with businesses that they trust. Companies that protect their data, treat them fairly, and are transparent about how they use AI.
So using AI ethically and responsibly to build that trust and loyalty.
Absolutely. They actually give some practical advice on how to do this. They say lead with empathy, prioritize ethics in AI development, be transparent with customers about how you're using AI, and get feedback from customers to make sure those AI systems are meeting their needs.
It's about putting the customer at the center of your AI strategy.
Exactly. Now let's talk about the employee experience. Just like customers, employees also expect those seamless and personalized experiences. They want to work for companies that value them, give them the tools they need, and offer opportunities for growth and development.
And AI can help create those kinds of workplaces.
It can. They highlight how AI can automate routine tasks, which frees up employees to focus on more strategic and creative work. AI can also personalize learning and development opportunities, tailoring training programs to each employee's needs and skill gaps.
So empowering employees to do their best work.
Exactly. And AI can even be used to improve communication and collaboration within the organization. By giving employees real-time insights, facilitating knowledge sharing, and even automating some aspects of teamwork. AI can help create a more connected and engaged workforce.
So it's about using AI to create a more human-centered workplace.
Exactly. But they also caution that AI adoption in the workplace has to be done thoughtfully and carefully. It's important to address those concerns about job security, provide adequate training and support, and make sure that those AI systems complement human skills and expertise. It's about bringing employees along on this journey and making sure they feel valued and supported.
That's an important point. Now let's talk about another important aspect, talent and skills. How is AI impacting the skills that businesses are looking for?
The report emphasizes that AI is changing the nature of work. It's creating both opportunities and challenges for businesses and individuals.
It's a double-edged sword. So what are some of the key things to consider?
They highlight how AI is automating those routine tasks, which is leading to concerns about job displacement. But they also emphasize that AI is creating new jobs and roles that require new skills and expertise. It's a classic case of disruption, leading to both destruction and creation.
So it's not just about job losses, it's also about job creation.
Exactly. And they argue that businesses need to adapt their talent strategies if they want to succeed in this new world of work. This means investing in upskilling and reskilling programs to help their employees develop the skills they need for an AI-powered workplace. It's about preparing the workforce for the future.
What kinds of skills should businesses be focusing on?
They say focus on developing those skills that are uniquely human. The skills that AI can't replicate, things like creativity, critical thinking, problem-solving, communication, and collaboration.
So the skills that will make humans indispensable.
Exactly. They also encourage businesses to rethink their recruitment strategies. Look for candidates who aren't just technically skilled, but who are also adaptable, curious, and eager to learn new things.
So people who can thrive in a world of constant change and technological advancement.
Precisely. And they emphasize the importance of creating a culture of continuous learning. Encourage your employees to embrace new technologies and develop their skills throughout their careers.
So it's about creating a workplace where learning is valued and encouraged. Now, we've talked about upskilling in general, but what about developing specific AI skills within the workforce?
That's right. It seems like having that in-house expertise would be a huge advantage for any company trying to navigate this new world.
Absolutely. The IDM report actually talks about this growing demand for professionals who can, build, deploy, and manage these AI systems. They even say that companies are already having trouble finding qualified AI talent, and that this shortage is probably going to get worse in the next few years.
Yeah, it's a tough market out there for AI talent. So what can businesses do to attract and keep those top AI professionals?
That's the million-dollar question.
The report encourages businesses to be proactive about developing those AI skills within their existing workforce. Investing in training programs, partnering with universities, or even creating those internal AI academies to build up that expertise.
So it's about growing your own AI talent. That makes sense. But those training programs and academies, they take time. How can companies make sure that employees can actually use those new skills quickly?
That's where hands-on experience comes in. They emphasize creating opportunities for employees to work on real AI projects. pilot programs, hackathons, even job rotations. It's about letting people learn by doing and apply those skills in a real setting.
I like that. It reinforces what they've learned and builds confidence. It also shows employees that the company is serious about investing in their AI skills.
Exactly. And it's important to create a culture that values and rewards that AI expertise. Make it clear that AI is a strategic priority for the organization. Make it part of the company culture.
So it's not just about acquiring those skills, it's about really integrating AI into the fabric of how the company operates. Now, I know implementing AI involves more than just the technical skills. There are organizational changes that have to happen too.
You're right. The IBM report actually talks about how AI isn't just a technology. It's this force that can really change how businesses operate. They argue that to really take advantage of AI, companies need to adapt their structures, their processes, even their cultures.
So it's a complete transformation, not just a tech upgrade.
Exactly. And they highlight a few areas where businesses need to make changes. First, you've got to break down those silos and get different departments working together. AI projects usually need input from a lot of different teams, so you have to have that collaborative culture to make sure those projects succeed.
So break down the barriers and encourage people to work together.
Exactly.
Okay.
Second, you've got to empower employees to make decisions and take risks. AI is all about experimenting and trying new things. So create a culture that encourages employees to think outside the box and learn from their mistakes.
Create a culture of innovation.
Right. Third, businesses need to become more data-driven. AI depends on data. So having a solid data infrastructure and a culture that values data is really critical.
Make data the foundation of decision-making.
Exactly. And finally, businesses need to be more agile. The world is changing so fast, and AI is only speeding that up. So companies have to be able to adapt to new trends, technologies, and customer expectations.
Be nimble and ready to pivot.
Exactly. They emphasize that managing these organizational changes isn't a one-time thing, it's an ongoing process. AI keeps evolving and new applications are coming out all the time. So businesses have to keep adapting their approach to AI adoption. It's a journey, not a destination.
That's a great way to put it. It really highlights the need to be flexible and open to change. Now, beyond those organizational changes, there's also the issue of building trust and responsibility into AI systems. How do we make sure AI is used ethically?
That's a really important point. The report emphasizes that AI is this powerful technology that has to be used ethically and responsibly. They highlight the potential for AI to be used in harmful or discriminatory ways, and they really urge businesses to take steps to prevent those negative outcomes.
So it's not just about building AI that works, it's about building AI that works fairly and ethically.
Exactly. They actually lay out some key principles for building trustworthy AI. First, fairness AI systems should treat everyone fairly and equally, regardless of their race, gender, religion, or any other characteristic.
So making sure that AI doesn't reinforce existing biases or create new ones.
Right. Second, transparency AI systems should be understandable, so users can see how they work and why they make the decisions they make. Get rid of that black box and make AI accessible to everyone.
That's so important for building trust and understanding.
It's just there. Accountability. Businesses have to be accountable for the decisions their AI systems make, and there need to be clear ways to address any negative consequences.
Checks and balances to make sure AI isn't causing harm.
Exactly. Fourth, privacy AI systems need to protect people's data, and companies need to be open about how they're collecting, using, and storing that data. Respect people's right to privacy in this age of AI.
Data privacy is more important than ever.
It is. And finally, security AI systems have to be secure and resilient, so they can't be hacked or used for malicious purposes.
Protect them from attacks, make sure they're used for good.
Right. Those are all really important principles for building trustworthy AI. But it sounds like it's more than just a technical challenge. It's a cultural shift for companies.
Exactly. The report actually says that building trustworthy AI isn't just an ethical thing to do, it's also good for business. Customers are paying attention to how companies are using AI, and they're more likely to trust companies that are committed to AI ethics. It's about building a brand that stands for trust and responsibility in this new age of AI. So doing the right thing is also good for the bottom line.
Now, with all these AI initiatives going on, how do companies know if they're actually making a difference? How do you measure the impact of all these investments in AI?
That's a great question. And the report really emphasizes that it's not enough to just implement AI systems. You have to track their performance and see how they're affecting the business. They say that businesses need to establish clear metrics for success and figure out how to measure the return on investment for those AI initiatives.
Well, make sure AI is delivering real value.
Right. But they also highlight a few challenges when it comes to measuring that AI ROI. First, it can be hard to separate the impact of AI from all the other factors that affect a business. It's like trying to figure out which ingredient in a recipe is making it taste so good. Right, it's not always clear what's driving the results.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
second, AI projects can take a while to show results, so it's hard to assess their impact right away. You have to be patient.
It's a long game, not a quick fix.
Right. And third, the benefits of AI aren't always easy to measure. AI can improve things like efficiency, productivity, and customer satisfaction, but sometimes it's hard to put a dollar value on those things.
So it's not always about the bottom line. There are other benefits that are harder to measure.
Exactly. But even with those challenges, the report stresses that measuring AI ROI is essential to make sure your investments are aligned with your business goals and that they're delivering real value.
So how can businesses actually measure that ROI in a meaningful way?
They suggest tracking things like cost savings, revenue growth, customer satisfaction, employee productivity, even environmental impact. They recommend using different kinds of data like financial data, customer data, operational data, and even feedback from employees to get a complete picture of how AI is impacting the business.
Take a holistic approach and look at both the numbers and the stories.
Exactly. And they also emphasize communicating that ROI to stakeholders, both inside and outside the company. Tell the story of how AI is making a difference.
So don't just measure it, communicate it. Now, beyond metrics and ROI, there's also this idea of building a strong AI culture within an organization. What does that look like?
That's a really important part of successfully adopting AI. The IBM report says that AI isn't just a technology, it's a mindset. Businesses need to encourage a culture that embraces AI and values data-driven decision-making. It's about creating an environment where AI can thrive.
So what are the ingredients of a strong AI culture?
Well, first, a data-driven mindset AI depends on data. So having a good data infrastructure and a culture that values data-driven insights is really essential.
So move away from gut feelings and make decisions based on data.
Exactly. Second, a willingness to experiment AI is constantly changing. So businesses need to be open to trying new things and learning from their mistakes.
Don't be afraid to fail, but learn from those failures.
Right. Third, a focus on collaboration. AI projects usually involve a lot of different teams. So it's important to have a culture where people work together to achieve shared goals.
Teamwork is key.
Absolutely. And finally, a commitment to ethical and responsible AI. AI can be used in harmful ways. So it's important to have a strong ethical framework to guide AI development. It's about making sure AI is used for good, not for bad.
Building those ethical considerations in from the very beginning.
Exactly. And the report makes it clear that building this AI culture isn't just the responsibility of the IT department or the data science team. It's a company-wide effort that needs support from everyone, from the CEO all the way down to the frontline employees.
Democratize AI and make it accessible to everyone.
Exactly. Now let's talk about developing a comprehensive AI strategy for a business. How do companies actually do that?
That sounds like a pretty big undertaking.
It can be. But the report stresses that AI isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. Businesses need to develop a clear AI strategy that makes sense for their own goals and resources. Think of it like a roadmap for AI adoption.
So don't just jump on the bandwagon, have a plan.
Exactly. They lay out a few steps for developing a good AI strategy. First, define your goals. What do you want to achieve with AI? How will it help you reach your business goals? It's about having a clear vision.
Start with the why.
Right. Then assess your AI maturity. Where are you now? What capabilities do you have? What are you missing? You need to know your starting point.
Take inventory before you start shopping.
Exactly. Then identify those use cases.
Yeah.
How can you use AI to improve your business? Where will it have the biggest impact?
Find the right AI for your specific problems.
Right. Next, build your AI infrastructure. What data, technology, and skills do you need?
Make sure you have the right tool and recourses.
Exactly. Then develop your governance framework.
Yeah.
How will you make sure AI is used ethically? How will you protect customer data?
Set those boundaries and guidelines.
Right. Then build your AI team. Do you have the right people with the right skills and expertise?
The right team is essential.
Absolutely. And finally, measure your AI ROI. Are you getting a return on your investment? Are your AI projects delivering value? Make sure it's worth it.
Right. They emphasize that this is an ongoing process. AI keeps evolving. So businesses need to constantly adapt and adjust their strategies. It's a journey, not a destination.
It's about continuous learning and adaptation. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some of the key takeaways for our listeners?
First, AI is changing the business world faster than ever before. From automating tasks to driving innovation, AI is having a huge impact on everything. And it's only going to get bigger.
AI is here to stay, and it's changing everything.
Right. Second, there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to AI. Businesses need to figure out what makes sense for them and their own specific needs and resources.
Find the right AI for your business.
Exactly. Third, adopting AI takes more than just technology. You need the right skills, the right culture, and the right governance to really unlock the potential of AI. It's a transformation that involves people, processes, and technology.
It's about the whole package. Right, fourth, AI isn't just about automation. It's also about augmentation. Use AI to complement human skills and create a more productive, innovative, and engaged workforce.
Humans and AI working together.
Exactly. And finally, AI is powerful. It has to be used ethically and responsibly. Businesses need to make sure their AI systems are fair, transparent, accountable, and protect people's privacy.
Use AI for good.
Exactly. This deep dive has been a fascinating exploration of AI and its impact on business. And I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is that we have to keep learning and adapting.
I agree. This has been an incredible journey, and I think the biggest lesson is that continuous learning isn't optional anymore. It's essential if you want to survive and thrive in this new world of AI.
Absolutely. AI is advancing so quickly. It's up to each of us to stay informed, learn new skills, and use this technology for good.
On that note, we'll leave you with this final thought. Given everything we've discussed today, what can you do to not just survive, but thrive in this new AI-powered world? Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.